we go again, guys. Today's project was a little bit challenging in as much as well, you'll see as we go along. But I bought these hummingbird stickers, hummingbird and flower stickers, and they are just so nice, and there's so many to choose from. I had difficulty deciding which ones I was going to put on my pots. But they really are nice. These are a couple of new pot molds I've bought. I think they come as a set. And they're very simple shapes. And the lids slot in the top. So the whole pot looks like one thing. It looks really good. So I'm going along, doing the tattoos as you do. But it was tricky because this was slightly curved side, and it took my brain a little bit of thinking. Okay, so I've got the mold inside out. Which way up do I put the birds? So I had to fold and unfold the mold a few times to think, okay, so that's the top. I didn't want to go and put all my birds on and then find out that when I turned the right way in, all my hummingbirds were the wrong way up. So that was my first challenge. But yeah, doing my usual thing, you know, that you do with tattoos, and being very careful, just making sure that they are properly damp. And I must admit that I did hold the wet wipe on a little bit longer than I would normally, just to make sure that they did, that, you know, the backing paper did slide off. So yeah, as I say, these stickers are amazing. They've got so much detail in them. So this was the tricky bit. When you turn the mold inside out, because it's silicone, it kind of bounces when you put it inside. And I thought, yeah, I can see the inside of the silicone mold getting stuck to the tattoos and basically taking them off. I put my hummingbirds on, and then I thought, well, it would be nice to put some flowers on. So when I bought these flower set as well, I sort of had an idea of putting the two sets together. But this is what I did. I put flowers in between the hummers, and that worked out nicely. This was my second challenge. So I was just trying to manipulate this through the hole without touching the stickers or dragging the stickers off. Yeah, I did it. It was a bit nerve-wracking, but I did it. So here I am again, having a think about, ooh yeah, which way should I put the stickers? My brain doesn't do well in reverse. When I'm doing the reverse painting, it can sometimes be a bit of a challenge. But yeah, so having got that first pot successfully turned the right way in, I have that dilemma to deal with on this one. But these stickers, well, they're tattoos really, they are so nice. And I wanted to do something a little bit special with them. And because they are so colourful and so detailed, I thought that whatever I put, you know, whatever kind of resin I put behind them or into them, it needed to be plain. See, the conundrum is you want it to be plain, but at the same time it would be nice to have a little bit of pizzazz. So whilst I'm putting the tattoos on, my mind is sort of churning away. What can I put in? What kind of resin colour should I use? A couple of these, I mean, I edited it out, but I must admit a couple of these, because I was so focused, I forgot to take off that plastic protective layer. So yeah, that's one of those things. You put the tattoo down and you start dabbing away with the wet wipe and nothing's happening, and then bing, oh yeah, to take off the protective sheet. So yeah, that's something to bear in mind. And as I said earlier, I did leave the wet wipe on the tattoo for a little bit longer than I would normally, just to make absolutely sure that they were saturated. Trying to get the flowers evenly spaced. Luckily, I blocked them all down in the right places and they look more or less equal between, so. My advice is, if you do this, get your tattoos on, wait say 10 minutes so that the tattoos can dry a little bit, and then attempt this next piece, which, yeah. So because this one is smaller, I'm sitting there thinking, oh God, I've got to do that all over again. Nerve-wracking experience, turning it the right way in and trying to avoid taking off the tattoos as I'm pushing that through. And on the inside of there's like a grid work. I thought, oh, I'll just fold this up and grab that sort of grid work. That's basically a reinforcement for the mould. And this worked very well. Yeah, sorry it went off camera a bit, but I'm sort of struggling with this, so I had to bring it up to my eye level. So try not to get the silicone to make contact with the tattoos. I'm not making contact with the tattoos with my hands. At the same time trying to put it the right way in. This was 300 milliliters of resin, which I think is about 10 ounces. And you'll see I have to make up a little bit at the end when I'm pouring. So if you make up the 14 ounces, you will be fine. You won't have any problems at all. You'll have more than enough. And what I was saying about trying to put something neutral but with a bit of pizzazz, what I finally came up with for my resin colour was this cream white. And I put in some of these iridescent mylar flakes. And it really worked. It came together very nicely. I was very pleased with the combination. So now my next dilemma. I know there are tattoos on the inside there, so I can't go in with my usual silicone tool and hunt the bubbles down. I've got to be careful. So I thought, well, a little bit of heat gun won't hurt. And it'll help to thin the resin down and push it down over the sides, and hopefully we won't get any bubbles. But you have to bear in mind that you've got tattoos in there, so you can't go scraping around like I usually would. So I tried some very gentle squeezing, which I secretly do enjoy. It's one of my secret enjoyment things. I love squishing that resin all around. And hoping for the best, really. Yeah, and moulds like this, where they have that sort of curved lip, that is where you will get bubbles. And on the bottom, which is actually, when you demold, it's the lid. So I was just hoping that the resin gods would smile on me and everything would be okay. This one, which I didn't do with the other one, I did this. Just pinch the bottom, give it a little bit of a tap. And with this one I did actually go under the lip. I forgot to do it on the other one. But it did turn out okay because I did a lot of squishing and stuff. Again, bearing in mind that, you know, the tattoos are in there, although they are a bit further down on this one. Yeah, that was 300 millilitres, roughly 10 ounces of resin, and I'm a bit short. So I had to mix up a wee bit more. Yeah, those moulds took a lot more than I kind of catered for. I knew they would take a lot, but yeah, they took a lot. Yeah, so as I said, if you mix up 14 ounces, you won't have this problem. And on the lids, of course, because there are no stickers, you go crazy with the bubble hunting. Yes, on a moulding day. Now, bear in mind that unmoulding, the tattoos are still sticky. So you have to be careful not to touch them or scrape them off, because at this point they are still vulnerable to damage. I love those hummingbirds. I think they're described on Amazon, which is where they came from, as watercolor hummingbirds, you know, like watercolor paintings. But they really caught my eye and I thought, oh yeah, I can do something with that. And now you can see why I put the mylar in. It just adds a little bit of something. When you look in the bottom here, the flakes sort of remind me a little bit of mother of pearl. Another challenge for my poor old hands. I did make a comment to my husband when I was doing this, because he's filming, that I don't think I will repeat here. Yeah, so being careful not to get your sticky little fingers all over the tattoos. So what I do with the tattoos is, because they're on the side of a jar like this, I give them a couple of thin coats of acrylon spray to protect it. And on the lids, I sanded them down, the lids, because they were rough. Where you pour in the resin on the top of the lids, the actual part that's facing you will be the top of the jar, top of the lid. So that stays rough. Where my thumb is, that is actually the top. That is the underneath. So I sanded off the top and gave it a very thin coat of UV resin, and I cured it, and that worked out okay. But to me, I don't know, maybe it's just me, that looks like mother of pearl kind of effect. Very shimmery. I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. It was fun. As I say, a few challenges along the way there, but yes, happy, happy, happy. So until next time.